The Oppo Find X5 Pro doesn't have many upgrades from its processor and misses some of that phone's best feature. But it's not all bad news. There's fast charging and more powerful processor and some new camera modes. The Oppo Find X5 Pro arrives a year after the Find X3 Pro release, and no, you're not going senile. There was no Find X4. So Oppo called the Find N that was released I think last year, the foldable Oppo Find N, they call that now the Find, so they just count it as the fourth and call it the fourth generation device, same like the X2 and the X3. So the one is the fourth, is the X4. So now they're having the Oppo X5, if you all understand what I'm saying. The handset launches alongside a standard and Lite version. The standard model is very similar though. When it comes to the Pro members of Oppo's flagship line, we've been seeing the diminishing returns each year. The Find X3 Pro bought limited upgrades over the Find X2 Pro, and now the X5 Pro doesn't match from its processor. In fact, one key feature was dropped, though there are upgrades in other areas. Hey yo, what is up guys, it's your boy Quartet, and today guys, in this video we're gonna talk about the Oppo Find X5 Pro. So anyways guys, before we go into this video, can we hit some likes on this video? Just hit it, just do it, just smash it. So anyways guys, let's see this video. The Oppo Find X5 Pro is certainly a top dollar smartphone. In the UK it costs $1,000 and in Australia $1,690 for the single 12 gig of RAM and 256 GB of storage configuration. And it's a bit cheaper than the Find X3 Pro, which costs $1,900, almost $1,100, you know. Oppo doesn't sell this phone in the US, though you won't be able to pick it up there. In the UK, you will know the phone's release date is March 24, with pre-orders starting March 10. The Oppo Find X5 Pro comes in black or white, with the same rising glass rear. That means the back of the phone naturally rise up to the camera bump. You know, it's all on the back part of the camera bump, the glass part. You know, the phone takes after the Find X3 Pro in this regard. And in my review sometime early down last year or so, when I was reviewing that phone, I mentioned the disappointment that the device wasn't more like X2 Pro. This must be the way the company is going though. This is your standard, a chocolate bar smartphone, otherwise with the volume rocker and power button on the right side. There's also a USB-C port, but no 3.5mm headphone jack, and the whole thing is IPS68 rate. The display curves at the edges, but it's gentle, not like its dramatic waterfall of the 2X Pro. This is a 6.7-inch AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate, which is the same as its processor. There are a few improvements here, and most intriguing one is the 1000 HD touch input rate. Refers to how many times per second the display scans a finger improvement. This is mostly useful for gaming. Even bespoke gaming phone usually only hit around 720 Hz for finger movement. So this is a starting improvement, and that's great. There's also a 1300 nits max brightness and support HDR 10 plus and 10-bit color. It's good looking screen and it will likely prove one of the best phones of the year for streaming movies. So the display on this phone is really good, high quality. You show the movie and gaming very bright. The Oppo Find X5 Pro has the same 3 rear camera as its predecessor, a 50MP camera, a 50MP ultra wide camera, and a 13MP telephoto for 2 times optical zoom. However, it misses the 3MP microscope camera of its predecessor, and given how fun that extra lens on this phone would have been very good for close-up pictures, its absence is felt missing. Jano. The 3 cameras likely have improved sensor over their 3 times counterpart, but Oppo only details one sensor, which was in the 32MP selfie camera. This is a RGBW sensor with added pixel to pick up white light balance, and it should make self-portrait pictures a little bit brighter. First, there are tweaks of Pro mode, though it seems these are mainly in the user experience size. Oppo also offer a few modes that you won't find on all smartphones, like Pro videography and long exposure. Companies clearly positioning this as a device for pro-flick smartphone photographers, not for everyday consumer. It's curious then that zoom photography feels like an afterthought. The 13MP sensor and 2 times zoom lens won't hold candles to what the similarly priced rival get, and it feels like Oppo focused on perfecting the main and ultra wide experience rather than catering to people who like to zoom in. For the battery, this is an era where I've been disappointed by the Find X Pro models, and it's also an aspect where you can't judge in the briefed hand on time. The device has a 5000 mAh battery power pack, which is a 500 mAh bigger than the Find X3 Pro. So hopefully we'll see some better longer battery life there. Charging speed has been a big increase though, and the Find X5 Pro offer 80W wired and 50W wireless, and also 30W reverse wireless pairing. An upgrade in the Oppo Find X5 Pro that is unsurprising is its use of Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, the next generation of Qualcomm's lines of top-end Android processor. The last version of the Snapdragon 88 Gen was used in the Find X3 Pro. So this is a very good step up and upgrade for this processor. This is a supremely powerful chipset, great for gaming or photo and video editing, though it's not a huge power boost from the 88 Gen. Phone is snappy to navigate and use, though I'll have to load this phone full of apps that we use every day to see if it's up for standard for sure. There's 12GB of storage of RAM. There's 2GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, but no expandable storage. And when I say no expandable, I mean like no memory card cannot use for this phone. The software here is Android 12 with Oppo's Color OS laid over the top, and that's bright and colorful user interface with lots of customization option for things like app icons, the always on display and fingerprint sensor, animation, etc. All of Android 12 main feature materials haven't made its way to Oppo's phone as yet, but its functionality and ability to set house theme for setting icons and menu based on your wallpaper is basically already present in color. So it's not an issue, if you all understand what I'm saying. You know, the Oppo Find X5 Pro doesn't feel like a huge upgrade over its processor. This is an iterative changes with new upgrade and tweaks, but no big eye catching difference. I'll miss the microscope camera. Oppo disinterest in zoom photography is a shame too. You know, but in my time of testing, I'll have to see if I'll be wowed in other aspect of the camera. Otherwise, this is the same premium phone that you've seen before. A good looking display, fast charging and powerful processor. Nothing really has changed, you know. So anyways guys, we've come to the end of our video for today. If you guys like this video, please smash that like button down below. Also, please let me know what are your thoughts on this Oppo Find X5 Pro. Would you guys actually get it? Let me know down in the comment section. So anyways guys, before we go, as we normally said, have no rest until you're the best. It's me, your boy Corey Tech. Peace out.